This is a new horse that just came in. Figured I'd show her to you. Her name is Athena. She is a 4-year-old. She, to me, she looks a little younger than 4, but the owner said she was 4, and her papers say she's 4, so I have no reason to doubt that. She has had 30 days under saddle before she came here. Somebody started her and really seems to have done a good job with her. Athena is here for possible performance training, see if she'll be a reining horse or a cow horse. I'm going to evaluate her for that. So far, I really like her personality and her demeanor. There's nothing about her demeanor that has made me want to rule her out as a performance horse. Tell me what color you think she's going to be. She's kind of an odd color. She does have a black mane and tail and black points. Really an odd color on her face. So let me know in the comments, what color do you think she is? Definitely a unique color. All right, let's walk out to the arena. It's pretty wet, kind of sticky with clay. But we can get done with her what we need to get done with her today. It's because you're making it tight and then coming out here. Because you always need to check it out here anyways. Let the horse be relaxed. Tighten it as the horse relaxes her body. I always move the feet after I tighten the saddle. It's like slippery clay. We're going to be adding some more sand to it, but it's got to dry. She walked off before I really asked her to. I'm not going to pull back and get in a fight with her. I'm just going to kind of point her to the side and encourage her to stop. Let her walk this little tight circle. And then when she gets stopped, I'll reward the stop. There we go. One thing I've trained, not just a lot of mares, which I have trained a lot of mares, but a lot of cow horses in general. And the two kind of go hand in hand, as they think a lot, and they're very ADHD. Their mind is always bouncing all over the place, way more than any other, like a pleasure-bred horse or a reining-bred horse. Cow-bred horses' minds are always bouncing around. So they're kind of like a child from the standpoint of when she walked off there, if I would have scolded her for walking off, she would not have even known what I had scolded her for, because her attention has already moved on to something else and it wouldn't have accomplished anything. All it would have happened is she would have been upset with me because she wouldn't have understood why she was being scolded. So that's one of the things that I've learned, is you just encourage them to do what you want them to do. You saw right there, I pulled back to stop like you would most horses, and she did stop, but she immediately went back forward again. I told her to stop, but the stop didn't last because of her being a young cow horse mind that's bouncing all over the place. So encourage her to stop, and then reward when she does what I'm encouraging her to do. Make it like it's her decision, so that she thinks it's her idea to stop. Even though it was my idea, because I asked her to walk that circle, and I made what I wanted easy and what she wanted hard. That's that goes back long ways in training. Lots of people have used that technique. Make the right thing easy, the wrong thing hard, and that's really all I'm doing right here on a very simple level. One thing, I've worked this horse several times since it's been here. She's been here a week, maybe a little more. I don't remember exactly. I've worked her several times. And one thing I've learned about her is that she's a pretty forward-thinking horse, which is not a bad thing. I need forward for cow horse. I need forward for rundowns and reinings, but I need forward when I ask for forward. I need her to wait for me to say, Now let's go. Now let's do a rundown. Now let's push that cow faster. So I need her to learn to wait for me, and that's what my last few rides have been on her, is teaching her to wait. I didn't ask her to walk off. I'm gonna go right back into taking the hold of the side of her face, encouraging her to stop. She thought about it. She was looking at those horses out in the pasture. She almost stopped. See if we can encourage her to stop again. Head to the side. I'm just going to wait. Wait. Good girl. The other thing that this is doing, I am encouraging her to stop. But the other thing this is doing, when I go to start teaching spins, we're going to be walking that same circle. I'm going to be pushing her body out. I'm going to be pushing her body in, which I've already started some of. But I need for her to walk that circle relaxed and not want to leave that circle. So this is actually a stepping point to teaching the spin. This is a stepping point towards teaching her to hesitate before we go on to the next maneuver. So even though this stuff is very simple, this is the very important beginning stages of teaching a reining horse or a cow horse. In cow horse, we're going to do a reining pattern before we do our cow work. So there are a lot of similar characteristics there in teaching the dry work in cow horse and the reining work. She's starting to think about stopping again. That's good. I'm going to start asking her to go here in just a little bit. Ask her to move. Now when I ask her to move, I'm not going to ask her to move forward because I've just encouraged less forward. I'm going to ask her to move laterally. That is going to build into her wanting to do what I ask her to do instead of what she wants to do. I'm going to start a circle to the left so that we have a little bit more room. And I'm going to take my left leg and right at the girth, I'm going to push it out a little bit. There, get just a little bit of lateral movement. Bend her ears a little bit when I push. Something to take note of. She could be pinning her ears just because she don't want to be told what to do. Another possibility is she could be pinning her ears because she's got an ulcer or something going on in her stomach. Something definitely to be aware of. If the pinning her ears goes away, when she's more comfortable with me putting leg on her, then it's most likely her lack of acceptance of my leg. If it doesn't go away or it gets worse, then it's most likely an ulcer that I'll need to treat her for. At this point, there's no point to get a vet out to scope her at this point. A lot of people are going to say, well, get a vet out, get her checked. And I could. But the thing about it is, in a couple of days, I'm going to know if it's an ulcer or not. And if I think it's an ulcer, I'll call a vet up and say I need some ulcer medicine. Tell him what the horse is doing, and I'll get the ulcer medicine. It's different than if this was like a leg injury or something like that. You have to think about your horse's health management. If the horse had a swollen leg, possible swollen tendon, something like that, that is going to be handled totally different than a suspected ulcer. So now I got my leg against her and she's not pinning her ears. That is saying it's more not wanting my leg pushing on her than ulcer. That's why it's pointless to get a vet out scope her at this point. It's just something to be aware of. Push again. There we go. Fussed about it a little bit that time. If it was a stomach ulcer, it's going to be sore all the time. It's not going to be sore sometimes and not sore other times. Big cue there, big indication there. So as I'm walking her around, there we go, another lateral step that away. I know this mud is kind of slowing her forward a little bit, but I'm getting more lateral, which is what I need. When I first started riding her, I had a lot of forward. And without pulling on her, getting into a fight over her face, I have converted that forward into lateral. Now let's go the other way. Forward. She stopped there without me asking, just encouraged her to go forward. I have been encouraging the stop without even really asking for the stop, rewarding her for stopping. And that has got her more thinking stop and less thinking forward. Now let's walk our circle. I'm gonna push with my right leg, push her out. I always push out first before I ask to push in. Didn't really do much there. Let's go around and do it again. Right leg. Yeah, got a little bit. I used my hands a little bit more to help get my point across, show her what I wanted her to do. I'll do that some to help get my point across. What I did with my hands is take a little bit of hold of her face and slow down her forward. Go forward. There, got lateral there, a little bit of lateral with less pulling on her face. Don't want to get in a pulling match. If I start pulling on her face now, I'm going to end up with an ugly face that's not going to score good later. There we go. Not moving off my right leg as good as the left. Don't have any spurs on today. I want to work her off just my bare heel a couple of times. Left leg, step in, there we go. Now let's go right leg. Step in, steer, step in, steer, a little bit. Not as much as I'd like, but it was a little bit. Right leg, step there, that was a better step, good girl. One thing she did there that I need to take note of, she stepped to the left off my right leg, and as soon as I released the right leg, she went off to the right. Something definitely to take note of. It's a bad thing, but it's a good thing. I don't want her to push into the pressure, but I do want her to look for my legs. The balance there I need to achieve. If she moved to the right because she was pushing into that leg that I had just released, there's another nice step, then it's something I need to work on. If she moved to the right because she was looking for that leg that I just released, then that's okay. That's something that is going to develop over time. Another turn off my right leg. There we go. Now let's ask for a stop. Whoa. Good girl. So this is the first video I've done of Athena. I'll have some more out later, and if she makes it into cow horse or reining training, there'll be quite a few videos of her. But what I see so far to start with, I like what I have to start with, and we'll see how her development comes. So until next time, thank you for watching.